boil it down to a question like, is God, well, I think we can agree on God not intervening. Like, clearly God is not intervening, else he would stop all the evil in the world. And the question is, it was the Dennis Prager thing, like, yeah, the way he described suffering, like the Jewish perspective being more like, I'm not wanting it, and the Catholic or Christian perspective more like accepting to the cross. I don't know which word to use, to carry the cross. And
Right.
like, there's a different relationship with suffering between them. But then that's a different topic from, does God intervene, or does God make us suffer so that we can overcome it? And it's like, I feel like a neutral observer. Like, I'm very intrigued by all the questions. I don't have any answers.
I think that there would be some people who might argue that belief in God, like, you have to have the answers, because if you keep telling me God is good, why is there evil? Which, you know, is kind of its own difficult question. Except for, you always, I mean, you're gonna get, the problem is free will. That's the problem. That's always the problem. That's what it boils down to. And nobody likes that answer. Nobody likes that answer, because they're like, well, you know, even Prager has kind of mentioned, well, it's kind of like you let God off the hook a little bit. So.
But what would we do if there was nothing to transcend? Or like, I mean, I don't know, as I watched the episode, I was wondering, I was going into some theories of like, okay, so if I was infinite, and like what they talked about, the only limitation, oh wait, what is the only thing, no, I want to say it right, we can edit.
The only thing that God lacks?
Yes, what is the only thing that, what does God lack? Limitation. So if I was God and I have my little popcorn box there, what would I create? I would create a world in which human beings are finite and they have to actually feel things. Because if you're infinite, well, I don't know. Well, if you're infinite, would you still feel things? And then I'm wondering, like, when I'm really present and I feel connected to infinity, I also feel like I don't have emotions. Like in that circling stuff, I often say, like, I'm just so present. I don't have, like, the thoughts subside and the feelings subside, and it's a blissful state. Like, it's blissful, but then I don't have emotions. I'm just there, being presently aware, being connected to the infinite. And then that would mean, if I'm God and I'm infinite, that I can't feel. And then I create a world that makes me feel. Yeah, I don't know. This was just, and I have no idea, but that was coming up as I was watching it. So.
Well, the only problem with that is I think that we do have to tie type into that, because I'm like, I think you're experiencing that because, I mean, I think you were just specifically built that way. And I think
Yes.
there is an element of truth to what you're saying, that God likely has a characteristic of that. But then you have to think of the FI user. Like, I guarantee you that when I go into my, like, I know when I go into my sleep, even I'll take it from like a positive place, the depth of emotion and just gratitude, or like the deep feeling. It's weird. It's not like it technically, when it's a good emotion, or like you said, sometimes using good and bad, it just doesn't feel right. But when it's an emotion that's maybe more transcendent, I think love is a transcendent type of emotion, then it's more like filling and like warmth, and like that's bliss as well.
Yeah, what comes up hearing that is like, yeah, like type plays into it a lot. There's a spectrum of bliss.